Hello and welcome in. I'm Andromeda Astria, and today we're going to talk about finding your type as an actor. This is something that is very important if you're an actor, and it is basically the core of your entire business. So let's go ahead and get into it. What is type? Type is a word you've probably heard thrown around. You hear people talking about actors being typecast or playing against type. So, what exactly does it mean? Basically, your type is the type of characters that you can believably play. Everyone has a range, but usually there's one specific type. Here are some examples. You've got the girl or boy next door, you have the villain, you have the bad boy or girl, you got the geek, the free spirit, the mean girl or bully, the jock. There are many more, but these are just some of the very basic ones so you get an idea of what we're looking at here. Why does this matter? There are two main reasons for this. Number one is that your type is largely your brand. You yourself are a brand and you need to figure out what types you can believably play so you can market yourself properly. This is going to help you get an agent. This is going to help you figure out what roles you should be submitted for and which ones you can believably play so you're not throwing your net way too wide and failing too often. Secondly is, are you okay with your type? Now, this might sound a little weird, but I do have friends who, once they found out what their actual type was, they did quit acting because they thought their type was something else. So it is very, very important that you either are okay with any type or that you are able to resonate with the type that you are going to be playing, because if there is a really big disconnect there, acting is not going to end up working for you. So you need to know what your type is so you can know how to market yourself and so you can know if you're okay playing that type, because that's who you're going to be playing for the rest of your life as an actor. While you may occasionally be able to play off type, for the most part, you will be playing on type. What makes your type? This is made up of a few different things. Now, all of these have nothing to do with what you are in reality. These are all about what you could believably play. So when we talk about age range, ignore your actual age. Now, oftentimes it is about 5 years on either side of your real age, but that isn't always the case. Some people can only play things significantly younger than them. Some people can only play things significantly older than them. It really depends on who you are and what you look like. Next is vocal range. So while you do have a natural tone, you can vary your voice, but you do not have an infinite vocal range. So you do need to figure out how low can you go, how high can you go, what is your range, and what kind of characters are within that range. Next is gender, whether you're a male, female, or somewhere in between. You do need to know what genders you can believably play. Some people will be able to swing both genders, but it is important to know what you can be perceived as so that you know which type of roles you can actually realistically and believably go in for. This is going to be a little bit more important if you're a voice actor, specifically because your physical body is not going to be seen here. It will be your voice. So you may be able to switch up your gender a little bit more fluidly if you are just a voice actor. Now, personality does come into this. Of course, we are actors, we are trying to portray other characters, but no matter how good of a job you do at acting, your real personality does tend to blend through. And this is why so many people, or everybody realistically, does have a type and is typecast, because there are certain things about you that no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to hide. So this is where personality does play a piece in your type. The final piece is job title. This is something that comes in a lot of the time when you're looking around for how to type yourself. This is things along the lines of doctor, lawyer, teacher, bus driver, taxi driver, things along those lines, just standard jobs. And there's a general look or perceived look to these jobs that do not necessarily exist in reality, but do very much exist on screen or on stage. So understanding what kind of look belongs to those in the perceived media idea of these different jobs is going to help you find your type. Now that we know what types are and why they're important, your question would be, how do you find it? Now, of course, if you are very, very honest with yourself, you can look in the mirror, assess yourself, figure out where you stand in all these pieces. Realistically, most people can't do this quite well enough. You will either overestimate or underestimate yourself on most things. So the next best thing to do is to ask some friends. Now, again, you need to make sure you have friends who are going to be very honest with you and not flatter you, because you need them to tell you the truth. Flattery is not going to help you in any way here. You need to know what someone who has never met you is going to think about you, which is where the next piece is actually the best way to do this. This is how we did it at my school. We had these pieces of paper with a bunch of different questions on them, and we'd go out in pairs. And we would go ask strangers. One person would ask the stranger, what do you think this person is? How old do you think they are? What socioeconomic bracket do you think they are? what kind of jobs you think they might have, all sorts of questions along those lines. And then we would put them all together and we'd see where things kind of matched up. And for the most part, they were pretty solid. There wasn't that much variety in what people were thinking we were. So if you have the ability to do this and a friend to go do it with you, go and ask strangers. I know there are some forums online as well, but honestly, I think asking real people in person is going to be the best bet for this. So if you can do this, this is going to be your best way to figure out your type. Now, of course, there is always the option of if you're in an acting class, you can always go ask your teacher. I will caution against this one a little bit because, as I've said in previous videos, acting classes, acting teachers, acting schools, they're there to get your money. They want you to keep coming back. They are going to flatter you a little bit on occasion, and you may end up with the wrong typing. Now, if you're sure you trust your teacher and they're not going to flatter you, go for it. But realistically, the only way you're going to get a really true typing here is either with very blunt friends or with strangers. Now, that is all we have. It is pretty simple to find your type, though it can be a little bit humbling or annoying if you realize that you're a type that you didn't think you were, or you can't play a type that you would really love to play. So this can be a little bit difficult. There aren't very many steps to figuring this out once you do understand it, but honesty and self-honesty is really the key to finding a true type and being able to market yourself properly. Now, I am happy to help people out. If you want to ask questions underneath here, that's fine. If you want to join the Discord and submit some images that I can maybe give you an honest opinion on what types I think you could play, I'm perfectly happy to do that as well. I do hope that this video has helped you in some way to understand what your type is, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.